Good afternoon, pepper lovers, and welcome back to another episode of Growing with Isotope. In this episode, I'm going to be showing my soil mix. I'm going to be showing how I'm planting my peppers this year, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more about why I'm choosing to grow in buckets this year rather than directly in the ground like I did last year. So just before I started filming this video, delivery arrived. It's my worm castings. I bought them from eBay. Worm castings are a soil mix ingredient that's new to me this year. I took a bit of a gamble by buying them on eBay, but I think I got a decent deal. I think this is 20 litres of it and I paid about 20 quid for it, and the quality looks quite good, as you can see. So I'm fairly happy with it so far. Let's have a bit of a look around the garden then. So down here are the pepper plants that I'm going to be selling for the allotment, raising funds for the allotment with those. That one back there is my guerrilla gardening entry. I need to get that planted at the football club roundabout. Tomatoes are doing really well, coming on nice and strong. The potatoes in the back and the fennel all doing really good. Autumn's single seed potato challenge potatoes in the back in those large green bags. The echiums in the planter, they're getting quite big. Lovely flower, I can't remember what it's called, but it looks really nice. And I'm having to resort to slug pellets this year, unfortunately, because the damage last year was so bad. That's a beer trap with slug pellets, so hopefully double whammy. Some of the chinenzas that I've got doing really well. That's 7-pot Primo heatless. That one's doing really well as well. And that is a lemon spice jalapeno. That is a Jay's Pink Reaper lemon. Lovely looking plants. Really happy with how the chinenzas are looking so far. And the bactums at the back there, also looking really good. I'm using the shade cloth this year as well, just to see what happens. The sunlight has been quite good. But yeah, Batman Bubblegum 7 Orange Cross Vitali F2, looking really good. More bactums in the back. Those are mostly Ahi Trinities. I think there's an Ahi Melicoton in there as well. Very tall, very mature plants. That is an Ahi Chalua Roro Amarillo. That's an Ahi Trinity. These are my Fatman Bubblegum F2 flowers, having the desired phenotype, which is always a bonus. There we go, lovely shot of that flower there. Fantastic, really happy with how these flowers look. This one's going to F3. Jay's Pink Reaper lemon looking fantastic. And in the back there, Thunder Mountain Longhorn. Right then, so in terms of my soil mix this year, I'm going to be using a mix of clover compost, which still has peat in it, and I'm going to be using some cheaper multi-purpose peat-free, just to kind of bulk it up a little bit, because it does get quite expensive otherwise. Clover is £20 for 180 litres where I am, and to that I'm just adding a couple of handfuls of perlite, some slow release granular fertilizer, a little technique that I use while I'm loading the pots is to kind of mostly fill the bucket or the pot that I'm using, and then pop the same size pot in the top before I fill the top section, fill around the pot, and then what you're left with is a pot shaped hole which you can then pop the plant out of the pot that you've got and then pop it in the hole. It is a lot less faff than trying to fill in dirt around it. Moving on to the front garden then, what I'm going to do out here is just take this cover that's been on the bed sort of for the past few months. I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to start digging in it to kind of submerge my pots in the ground a little bit. That's doing a few things, I think, at this early stage of the year. Number one, it's going to provide stability to the pots, so they're hopefully not going to blow over in the wind without taking half the garden with it. And it's a good job I did that actually, because there was a lot of wind after I planted these pots, so I'm happy with my decision to do that. Another thing it's going to do is it's going to kind of insulate the soil a bit, so if the temperature does drop, then they're going to have a bit more protection from cold weather. One thing that it does mean is that the copper tape that I put on the pots is going to be useless, because the slugs are going to be able to get into the pots from the soil line now. So I'm just going to have to be a bit more liberal with the slug pellets and the beer traps, of course. But yes, why I'm burying the pots and not burying the plants is a good question. Basically, I am a bit skeptical that this warm weather is going to continue into June. If I knew the warm weather was going to continue into June and last for the whole summer, like it should, then I would probably end up avoiding the pots and just burying them straight in the ground. But the problem with that is when the soil gets cold, when the soil gets wet, when the soil gets waterlogged, you can kind of control the situation a lot easier when you have pots. I can, for example, remove them from the ground, put them somewhere else to drain if I need to. They're going to be a bit warmer because they're in the ground, but at the same time they're going to have that kind of flexibility. It's going to allow them to weather the storms a bit better, I hope, anyway. And the idea is, if in July, when the plants are a bit more established, or even mid-June when the plants are established and growing, if they're looking like they're going to tolerate changeable weather, then I will probably end up planting them directly in the ground. I'll take them out of the buckets and pop them in the ground. And the advantage of doing that versus planting a 1 litre pot is that I have a lot of soil underneath the roots, a lot of good quality compost, rather than just relying on them growing into the clay soil that we have here, which is sometimes a bit difficult. It can get kind of bogged down with moisture, lack of oxygen. The clay soil isn't the best for them to grow into if they haven't already started putting out roots. So I'm kind of just trying to give them the best fighting chance that they can possibly have in our summer. But yes, thank you very much for watching everyone, and I will see you in the next video.